So the term instantiate actually means to create an instance of. Okay, so when you're spawning health packs, you're spawning enemies, you're creating instances of enemies. So you need to use instantiate. When you're throwing an object, you need to create an instance of that weapon. So I'm going to make a new script. I'm going to call it throw spear 2. Throw spear 2. Because I already have a throw spear. And I'm just going to add the throw spear 2 to my player, and I'm going to disable the script that I had earlier on. So if I don't remember things because of the water in my head, I'll use my cheat sheet. So let's start with some variables that we need to hold things. We need a game object, public game object. This is my spear, or I'm going to call it my what I throw. Okay, so I need an object which I'm going to throw. I need a transform. A transform is, I want the details, how much it is rotated, where is the position of it. I want a transform, and that will determine the throw position. Okay, the throw position, the throw angle, this variable. So whatever object I dump into this will determine the throw position, the throw angle. So I'm just going to call it throw pause. What I throw, and then I've got throw pause. I'll keep this in camel case. What I throw pause. Two things I certainly need. I'm just going to show you the instantiate script. If I type instantiate, now the reason I'm doing it in start is because it will run once. If I do it in update, it will keep instantiating 60 times. So I'm just going to do it in start. So if I type instantiate and I put a bracket, it tells me the various options I have. This is the one I'm using. So there are 3 different ways of using this method. And as I open the bracket and I use these arrow keys, as I use the arrow keys, I find the different ways. I'm using this one. This one says what object you're going to instantiate. So I'm saying what I throw is going to be instantiated. The position. So I'm going to give it a new vector 3, a new XYZ position, and I'll just say quaternion dot identity, which is the default rotation for now. Quaternion is Unity's way of specifying rotation. Unity specifies angles in radians. We are used to angles in degrees, 90, 180, 360. The easiest way to remember the conversion between radians and degrees is that pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. I remember this from my high school, 1987. Okay, so because it was very simple. Our teachers believed if you don't get marks on your paper, you get marks on your body. Yeah, punishment was quite legal when I was a kid. You could get caned. So pi radians is equal to 180 degrees, and pi is 1.141 whatever. If I say quaternion dot identity, I'm just saying the default, but you can specify Euler angles, quaternion dot Euler, and specify it in radians. But what I do is I don't mess around. I keep this object and I try to pick up the rotation of the object, which is what I was showing earlier. So right now I'm going to say what I throw needs to be instantiated. Where shall we instance it? Let's set it at 0, 5, y, 0, z, just so that it is somewhere in the middle. Okay, I'm going to save this, throw spear 2, and I'm going to apply it here, add component, script, throw spear 2. I'll just move it up so that all the scripts are together. Now there are some errors, and that's why my variables are not seen. Okay, semicolon. No worries. And now if I go, yeah, what I throw and throw position. Now what I throw, to create a prefab, suppose I make a sphere, 3D object, my cube, I'm going to call it awesome sphere by Steve. So that's Steve's awesome sphere. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's here. Yeah, that's his sphere. I'll leave it at 0, 0, 0. I'm going to make the scale in Z a bit higher, so it's a nice weapon. I'm going to make the X and Y a bit smaller, 0.2, 0.2, yeah, maybe 0.1. I should have made a cylinder. No worries, that's okay. No, I will make the cylinder. So game object. With a cylinder, the problem is when I rotate it, my forward top all gets messed up. That's the problem with my cylinder. So that's my cylinder. I will need to rotate it in X, is it 90? Yeah. I'm going to change the scale in X and Z, 0.1, 0.1, and increase the scale in Y. Okay, so let's say that's my sphere, cylinder. I can actually rotate the sphere itself so that it appears at an angle. But I'm taking this cylinder, calling it awesome sphere. Become awesome pair, awesome sphere. Now you must drag this and drop this into a folder. Usually we call it the prefab folder. You can call it anything really, but you see the color change blue? It means that this object actually is linked to one of the objects here. If I delete it, I can bring it back any number of times. You see that? And what happens is, suppose I bring it here and I delete this one, this one sometimes turns red. Yeah, see, it turns brown. It says that, hey, you created me from an original object. That original object is not there, so that link is broken, and there's a way to say that unlink it. But anyway, just wanted to show you that. Oh, and I can't undo it. Where's my awesome sphere gone? Oh, my original sphere is gone. Okay, I'm just going to make that one again. Sorry, I wanted to show that to you. So I'm just going to rotate it in X and 0.1, 0.1, and maybe 5. Oh, no, too much, too. Oh, that's okay. I'm going to drop this and calling it so this all. I don't like my bad spelling. I'm going to fix that, and I'm going to drop it into prefabs. There it is. This one I can delete, no problem. This one I shouldn't. So there it is, and I'm going to bring it out. So now in my player, I've added my script, right? Throw sphere to. What I throw, what I'm going to throw is awesome sphere. Bang. Now throw position. Look at this. I've created an empty object, game object, 3D, or create empty. So I've just created an empty object and I've parented it. I'll just show you. Create empty. I'm going to call it where I throw. So where I throw, I'm going to reset it. I'm going to make it a child of player, and I'm going to bring it up here. Now I want to bring it somewhere here on my player's top right. Here, cool. My player's top right. And I will give it a bit of a rotation in Z. No, in X. Yeah. So yeah, just sort of give it an angle. That's my angle. So it will instantiate at an angle. That's all. So it instantiates at an angle. I can make it 45, then the math becomes very easy. Equal X and Y becomes 45. But this will also work fine because this basically means more forward and less high, and by 2 roughly. So that math is involved. Now this is where I throw. This is for the previous example I did, so I'm not going to mess with it. Now on my player, I have attached the throw spear script. What I throw, I dragged awesome spear. Throw position is where I throw. Cool. And you can see the icon. That's a transform icon because that's all I need. I don't want the game object. So now if I play this, yeah, you can see my object has got instantiated. If I just go here, you can see my object is there. It is at a very funny angle. It's straight up because it is just taking the cylinder and putting it as it was. Okay, but I can give it an angle. Suppose I say give it the angle throw pause dot transform dot rotation. So take the rotation of throw pause and now instantiate it. See, it gives it a bit of the angle there. It's still not right, but I can take the, oh no, where I throw, yeah, throw pause, where I throw. Let me turn that timer off. I'm just going to turn that timer off, please, so that I can take this where I throw and rotate it and okay, so that angle is okay. Yeah, that angle is okay. Probably the position a bit lower. I think so. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, it's facing the right direction. Just the position, I'm going to move it a bit ahead and a bit lower. So I'm going. Yeah. So this is my player's back. This is the Z. Player is facing that way. Yeah, player is facing that way. Because if you model with Z facing, and that's why it's good to always to have the shoes because you know which direction your player is facing. In this case, when I modeled, I was always thinking facing that way because when he moves, that's how when he moves forward, he's moving that way. See this? If I actually play, he moves forward. See that? So I just want to make sure. Okay, I will take him a bit down and right. So where I throw right, down. Oh no, it's not. You know why? Because I'm giving it an absolute value. Really sorry. Really sorry. I was giving it an absolute value. Let me actually say throw pause dot transform dot position. Really sorry, it was taking an absolute value. So let me take my where I throw, let me reset it. Yeah, I'll just take it a bit forward where I throw. There is a way to change it from 3D world coordinates to, yeah, I'm just going to take that to global, make it a bit forward. Yeah, so you can change it to local coordinates and global coordinates. So I just changed it to global and moved it a bit forward, and that's cool. Yep, that's okay. Happy for it to be there. So now I've got a script which takes what I throw, takes throw position, takes its transform XYZ, and takes its transform rotation, and instantiates the object that I want to throw. I'm going to have one more game object called, let me call it missile, because it's going to be given force. Missile. I'm going to take this script here, and now in update I'm going to instantiate this as a game object, as game object. So when I instantiate it, it will become a game object. Let me see whether it has a rigid body. Now, if you want the gravity to affect it, you will need to add to your awesome sphere your rigid body. Okay? And you can then change the mass, the gravity, if you wanted to fly, remove the gravity, and so on. And because it's there, you can access all of these by script. I can always go and say game object dot I can drill down to those parameters, and I can change those things. Okay, I won't do that now. Instantiate this as a game object, and let's store it in the variable missile. So we'll take missile and instantiate that as a game object. Now to add force to it, there is this new thing that I just came across. You have to get the component rigid body. So you have to say missile dot get component. You need to get the component, the rigid body, and to that you will add a force. Add force. There are two things: add force and add torque. Torque is to twist, and force is to add a force. And add a force, again, there are 4 ways of adding force. What I think we played with previously was just the normal XYZ, was it, Steve? We just went XYZ, and we'll do that again. I'm just going to go first. Let's try Z. 0, 0. I will have a variable here, throw speed. I'm going to have integer, throw speed, and I'm going to say throw speed. Okay, so just use that in Z. Let's see how we go with this. Throw speed equals, yep, thank you, Steve. 1000. It should keep creating quite a few.
Well, it's updating.
Yeah, let me get my camera somewhere to the side. Let me get my camera somewhere here so I can see what's happening.
Every frame it's making.
Oh yeah, it's an update, yeah. But it's not going in the right direction. I'm going to put this in start so I can see it just once. Which way did it go? Okay, it's going forward. It is going forward. Cool. Good. And we want it to go a bit on top. So I will say throw speed divide by 2, because then I can divide by 3, divide by 10, or divide by 1.5 and all that stuff. Yeah. So hopefully, even if I say divide by 1.5, 5f, it should take it because it's a float value. Yeah. So there. Oh, went pretty far. Now we need to make this happen on click. So this is happening. It's happening. And if you are really organized, you can just say void spear attack. Okay, begin, end. So spear attack is, I think if input dot get button down, I will show you this. In Unity, if you go to your project settings and input settings, you can see the fire 1, fire 2. So fire 1 is left control, fire 2 is left alt. So these are already pre-programmed. So if I say get button down fire 1, and it's like this, I'm just going to copy that so I don't make a mistake with the capitals. So this was already working, right, on start. Now all I'm doing is I'm putting this inside a script. So spear attack, if the button is down, begin, end, if the button is down, do this, and in update I'm going to call it. I'm going to call spear attack. So whenever I press control, it should work. So I'm moving, control, moving, yep. Yep. Cool. Ah, that's my shortcut, control arrow. I should use alt. I'll use alt because that's killing me. Fire 2 should be alt. Save it. Alt, yep, alt. I'll use alt because alt and arrow key does not have a shortcut. And that's good. That's good. There you go, timer is off. And you can make a game to knock off objects. And if there was another rigid body, the spear would knock it off. It will knock it off. Just to prove it to you, let me see where my spear goes. I'll give it a lower angle and then we'll hit the... I want to show you that it will actually hit another object. Let me make the speed a bit less. And that's why it's actually good to make it public, so you can actually change it from the game screen. Okay, now I'm just going to put a box in front to show you that it can hit another object. 3D object, cube. Four. And make this also a rigid body. and make the drag 0, angular drag 0.
Let's make it.
So if it touches, it actually gets pushed. Ah, it's going above. Let me. Oh, there you go. See, I tumbled it. Okay, so but you can see the nice trajectory. See the trajectory? The trajectory is pretty good. That's pure physics. I'll stop the recording here, and yeah.